Hey everyone, welcome to Compliance Weekly 2025, March 11th. And we'll start by walking our milestone board. So the last one discussed was technical implementation planning, and then I see 4 that are closed without assignment. I'm guessing we
Yeah,
are
I
skipping those, not doing those.
should just skip those. I closed those.
All right, next one is add one more layer of breadcrumbs. Sheldon, do you know anything about this one?
Yeah, so this is for the compliance center. The breadcrumbs previously were just showing compliance center. So if you click on the tabs, you didn't have any information of the tabs path in the breadcrumbs, and this one implements that. So now when you click on each tab, the breadcrumbs are updated with the active tab.
Nice. Next one is on me. Add banner to interior support. I added a banner to notify people when we switch over to the new adherence support. And that's also getting an update to switch between the old and new one. It's currently in review. It's already it for closed. Anyone have anything to mention for in review, blocked or in dev? A quick scroll. All right.
I have one thing for the in-dev. So I'm working on the pointing the front end for the stream destination logs to the new API. This is going to be like 4 or maybe even more merge requests, and I assigned to you, Nate, for review, first initial review for the front end. So let me know if that's okay, or if not, I can assign to someone else.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just came back from PTO today, so I'm
Cool.
flat out just trying to get through to-dos.
Perfect.
And we'll move on to our planning issue. There we go. So starting at the top, compliance frameworks, custom compliance frameworks for Hitesh.
Mm. So the API for bulk adding controls while requirement creation is merged and deployed in production. Uh, for the new compliance dashboard API, we thought of a new process of storing project requirement statuses in a new table. The creation of that new table and its model are in production now. API for presenting that project requirement status data to UI via the API is under review as of now, and the cron job for triggering internal control evaluation is under review too.
Nice. External custom controls. Nate, do you have any insight on this one?
Yes, so the REST API is in final review, and that's just we're waiting on that. The update to the controls front end is in initial review, I believe, as well, and that will be the final parts for external custom controls. I was just waiting on the cron controller for the above ones so that we can start testing the actual pings. But yeah, otherwise that's on track.
All right, and then we have adding key OOTB controls for most requested compliance wing frameworks. It's on Andrew. Anyone have any insight on this one?
Yes, I can give a quick update there as well. Darby has added a new EMA for adding scan controls. The first security scanner control, and Andrew has also opened up another EMA for adding a control for is SaaS enabled, and he also opened up another EMA which has a helper for generating all of the code needed to add controls. So I can share that in our doc as well for anyone else that wants to take a look and help add any of those controls. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
All right, next one is on me. Toggle for custom compliance framework rollout. That one, as mentioned earlier, is in final review, so it should be done fairly quickly. Compliance center improvements on Ilya. Anyone have updates on that one? All right.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
The archived badge API is just having some problems with pipelines, and then the UI can be worked on. The hierarchy is just being put on hold for a little bit, so we can focus on the custom compliance frameworks with the recent priority with front end work there.
All right. Should we update the target release for this one then, perhaps? To push it along.
Yes. Yeah. So that, yep. Thank you.
Next one, consolidation of table for streaming audit events on Hitesh.
So the MRs for migration of data from old tables to new tables is under review. So there are multiple MRs for that, and from backend side, it looks good. There is a request for splitting the MR. There was a request for splitting the MRs from database side. So Andrew has done that too. So it's under review. Right. But I
Next one.
think we might have to move it to 1711 because of the work that uh, Andrew and me are working on this compliance framework.
All right. Next one is on me, compliance, improve compliance group metrics. I've been currently working on this one, and I needed to do a migration from our old reporting metrics to our new reporting metrics, and been having to change a lot of things, and it broke a lot of specs in a lot of places because it's a concern that's included in a couple places. I think I have it a lot further along now, but I've yet to read the review comments, so we'll see how far along I'm actually with that. And next one is cells migration on Harsama.
Yes. So there are no new updates on this. Probably we'll start working on this next milestone. I'm busy with the compliance adherence checks.
All right. Next one is on Nate, provide an option to add projects in compliance framework creation workflow.
Yeah, no update this week. The planning's been done, but no dev started yet.
All right. And next one is compliance framework upload, download templates. Also on you, Nate.
Yes. Yeah, so the download has been all done. The upload service, I believe, is in final review. I'm looking at Hitesh or Hasmer. I can't remember who was reviewing that one. And the UI is in initial review at the moment. Any update, Hitesh? I think he went off.
There's for the report download for compliance statuses, right?
No, the import service that
Yeah.
Renee is with.
Yeah, so I was reviewing that MR and we had some discussion. Yeah, I remember now. So the main problem with that MR is that uh, import is good, but export is good, but with import there was a problem with transactions. So suppose if uh, one of the we have imported a file and one of the requirements or the controls which belong to the framework is invalid or there is some problem with that. So the framework will get created, but the requirement and controls will not. And if someone wants to re-import it, the data will be half imported. So I'm discussing it with Rene on this, that how we can do it better.
Alrighty. Next is design and QA update. I don't see anything in the doc, but I think there was a video that Camille recorded for the new UI proposed for the frameworks, importing and exporting templates and requirements frameworks search. So check out her post on that. Next, we have discussions. Hitesh, you had one here for sidekick queues.
Uh, yeah, so last night for India, there was an issue where there were too many sidekick queue jobs, and one of the most contributing factor was audit event streaming worker, which has happened previously to in September 2024. And so at that time, they were asking me whether we should disable the streaming worker for a while and then we can bring it up. But the question uh, that came to my mind was that would it affect customers' workflow? There might be some workflows which might get affected, which rely on the live streaming of audit events. So this thing I wanted to ask Nate and Ian that what should we do in this case? Or we should add some kind of ability to um, turn off audit event streaming for a group for certain time and then enable it again later.
Yeah, so this that seems similar to this feature request that we have. We were talking about disabling the event streaming for ones which are not accessible. Is this so that the Sidekick work is generating a whole bunch of jobs for streaming for sites that are not available? Is that correct?
Yeah. Uh, so there's one part of the problem where the webhook in itself is not accessible. But what if there are too many events and it is a legit request? I did not check whether that was happening. This was happening yesterday or not. But
It is.
suppose if the queue becomes too huge, so can we disable it for some time and then enable it? The jobs will be there in the queues, sidekick queues. The data will be transmitted to the location, but uh,
As long as there's no
uh,
loss of data, I can't see while some might rely on these. I mean, let me talk to Ian tomorrow as well and confirm. But my thinking would be it should be okay in the case of an incident. I think
yeah,
this as well would help to mitigate that, right, by removing streaming queues that are not accessible.
yeah, this would help too.
Yeah. Is there any other things that we could look at doing to mitigate that as well?
So yesterday they removed one of the stream destinations that was on our groups, which was done previously too. That we removed one of the streaming destinations from our groups. Uh, that helped. Uh, yeah, probably we can look at the data of yesterday. That was this one of the problems that might have led to huge audio driven streaming workers. And the other thing that we can do is, or might be already doing that, we might be sending data in bulk on streaming destinations in an array or something like that. Suppose if a project setting is changed, then we generate a lot of different objects and send them in individually rather in a single array. But that would be a breaking change too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you mind, Satish, creating an issue just outlining the problem statement, and we can like link to this and discuss some, like, look into the data around whether this was potentially would have helped mitigate it and any other mitigations we could look at employing.
Sure.
Thank you. Any other thoughts from anyone else though while we're here? Or not? Asma, I know you're deep in audit events.
I'm trying to find the unmute button. Yeah, no, I don't have any concerns around it. Was just going through the issue, but looks like we should find why the queue is getting bombarded with so many events, and then we can rectify it.
Kind of thing. Maybe it would also be an option to persist the queue outside of Redis in a way that we could just stop the workers in case of an incident and then have them pick up without any potential loss of data of what is still to stream. Maybe that might also be an option. Use a different.
The other question is delay allowed in such cases?
Huh?
Is delay allowed? Is delaying of streaming of audio
Yeah,
documents is
that's
allowed or not? Is I just wanted to know whether that is part of our SLO or not. I think Ian and Nate would be able to answer that.
We never promise live streaming, and there is a delay on any of them anyway due to the worker and potential like interference like this. So depending on how long the delay is, for instance, like if we were to disable streaming for a day or two, I think that would cause huge problems. But if it's for like 15 minutes, half an hour, I can't see a problem.
yeah. Maybe it's also an option to tier SLOs about that, and then have that for.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
If you want lower delays, then we could provision additional resources for those workers for a price, of course. Might be an option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was they were thinking that we should enable more shards so that but that is horizontal scaling.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's some good stuff we could put on the documentation there as well around some of this to clarify it. And maybe just having internal SLOs that we can add to a run book for SREs to refer to.
Yeah.
So we don't want to have this on call responding to, yes, that's fine for 20 minutes or something. We can probably update the run book for them.
All right. And then we'll stop recording. Wave to the camera.